Joining us now is James Sullivan. He's he's Asian research team at JP Morgan. Are going to have a look at this, what it all means in terms of the strategy with regard to Yahoo. So, James, thanks very much indeed for joining us. What do they do?
From an Alibaba perspective, I think it's important to recognize the fundamental differences that exist between their business and Yahoo. And it's really the difference between being an infrastructure provider and an entertainment company. Yahoo specifically exists as a content aggregator, and it's starting to outsource more and more of its functions to Microsoft, as an example, in search. Whereas Alibaba, through its platform, through Alipay, Aliloan, as well as Taobao and Alibaba.com, is involved in providing infrastructure to SME businesses throughout China, far more similar to the package of services that you see in an eBay through their merchant services division, or even a Visa through some of their recent acquisitions in the online payment space.
Right, so it makes sense for both of them to go their separate way. Yahoo probably needs the cash.
And it actually makes Yahoo a more interesting acquisition for somebody else moving forward, because it takes away a fundamentally undervalued portion of the business. The stake that Yahoo owns in Alibaba is part of the unlisted parent company stake, and it's always been very difficult to value given the lack of financial information that we get.
How much is it worth, do you think?
Street estimates vary anywhere between $8 and about $15 billion. And again, because of the lack of financial information, it's difficult to pin a direct number on it.
All right, so what do you think is the likely way this will play out?
Not sure, and it'll be interesting to watch the mechanizations as we move forward. I mean, clearly, Jack and the rest of the senior management team at Alibaba have indicated a desire to get this deal done. Alibaba has about $1.5 billion in cash on the balance sheet today and zero long-term debt, and so there is funding capability there. To the degree that private equity players try to play a role in an overall privatization of Yahoo, they could also provide bridge financing and capital to help facilitate the transaction moving forward.
And of course, we do have Yahoo in the mix, and people talking about it being a takeover target. I think Goldman Sachs has been hired to try and prevent that from happening. You know, who makes more sense? Someone like AOL or Microsoft, which some people say is a dream partnership here?
I think the issues that we'd face with an AOL type of a partnership is combining two very complex organizations. If you look at Yahoo as a platform, they have up to 19 different coding platforms within the company already, and they've gone through a series of acquisitions over the years. AOL, very similar circumstances. The nice thing about that type of a transaction would be you have two organizations that are in the content aggregation business that are squarely focused on selling advertising space to advertisers. Microsoft would be a significantly different transaction, providing technology. Microsoft is already significantly involved in the deal, however, through the Bing technology and search. Yeah,
that's what's key here. But you know, when you look at AOL and you look at Yahoo, you're thinking about two companies which are really underperformed.
And you'd need a significant amount of detail in terms of the actual on-the-ground integration plans for that deal to move forward, I think.
Yeah. So you know, which way again? Do you think that it will get taken over at some point, Yahoo? Do you think it's a standalone? The strategy is right?
No views particular on Yahoo's forward-looking strategy. I know from an Alibaba perspective, they would like to see that stake released so they can either partner with someone that's more involved in their core business strategy moving forward, someone with a business strategy similar to either an eBay or even a Visa or potentially Rakuten out of Japan.
James, thank you very much indeed for joining us. James Sullivan there, he's head of Asian Telecom Research at JP Morgan. Just going to get you up to speed with some of